today's learning target is I can describe the importance of the question / problem for an experiment. So today's topic is that question problem, and a lot of people when they talk about the scientific method don't really think about this aspect of it, but it's obviously the most important part, because you don't have a experiment. You don't have an experiment without a problem. You have to have something that you want to try to figure out in order for you to have a scientific experiment. So today, part of what we're going to stress is some of these big things that have happened in the scientific community that just show like how much questioning is going on. And I always like to talk about this in terms of looking around the room, and I want you to think about like everything that you have in this room is here because there are questions about stuff. What makes the best kind of desk? What makes the best kind of metal for the desk? What makes the best kind of carpet? There's just so many factors that go into all of that stuff. Even the technology that we're using today, it's mind-blowing to think that that when I was a kid, a computer was in this huge box, and it took multiple floppy disks just to play a game. And now you have more computing power in a device that's on your wrist than those computers had total. So all of that comes about because people are asking questions. And even stuff like going to the grocery store and getting products that are there, all of those things are displayed because people have asked the question, like, what's the best thing to put on this box? What's the best way to display this? What are the best ingredients that are going to go in this food? So this idea of the scientific method is something that is used in all aspects of life. And today specifically, we're going to talk about questions, like how do we develop these kind of questions. So there's a few things that are important to note when you talk about a question or a problem. And first of all, the most important thing that we're talking about is these things need to be testable. You have to be able to test these things. You can't just say, what's the weather outside? You're not really testing that. That's just something that you can find out. You can go out and you can look at that. So that's not really a question that you would use for an experiment. A couple other things that go along with that. When you talk about these things, they need to be pretty specific. You can't just talk about like something huge in general. You need to be very specific about the stuff that you're asking questions about. And then obviously you got to be able to research it. If you can't research it, how are you going to develop a hypothesis for that for that question? So it's important that you can do research and you can figure out some things before you create that hypothesis for that. The other thing that I just wanted to mention real quick is that you have to be careful how you word these. You have to make sure that it's not something that you're just relying on the opinions of other people, and unless that's what you're asking for. So here's a specific example of that. You wouldn't say something like, what type of truck is the best? I know a lot of you have an opinion on that, but you wouldn't say what type of truck is the best, because then you're relying on the opinion of other people. You could say something like, what type of truck tows the most amount of weight, or you could also say, what type of truck do people like the best? And so you're actually asking questions, and it's worded in a way that can be testable. So the activities today are just kind of meant to get you thinking about what it is, these kind of questions and questioning those things. Make sure that you're using your time, and make sure that you are following the directions. I have some specific ways that I want you to get these things done today and shown to me today. So if you have questions, make sure that you're asking. Have a great day.